everyone, Crystal Gamer here with another Sims 4 speed build video. This one here is a little bit different for me though. This is the very first time that I am doing a restaurant, at least in this game. I have done quite a few restaurants in Planet Coaster, believe it or not. But in Planet Coaster, they're more for decor. They can't really be used the way that these can be used in this game, so This is really nice. I'm really happy because I love building the restaurants in Planet Coaster. That's a good game, by the way. If you're into different simulation games, if you haven't tried it, you may like it. But this one here, they can actually use the restaurants, which is very exciting. And so this design is actually something a little bit similar to something that I did in Planet Coaster. It's a design where it's a very upscale romantic type atmosphere is what I'm looking for, and the desire is to have these sort of enclosed booths that are sort of really private, and so couples can go in and just really have sort of a private dining experience, and it's a little bit kind of secluded and everything, and just very romantic. And so that's the idea. Unfortunately, as you can see, I'm building the booths and all this stuff. I start building them, and it's the perfect size, and everything is great. And when I get through with pretty much the entire build and I go to test it and figure out what exactly I need for a restaurant, because I've never actually played the game and run a restaurant. And this is the first restaurant build that I did, so I had to figure out exactly what was needed to equip a restaurant properly. And so I finished this and I get to doing that, and I start testing it, and I discovered that there's an error in the game. There's apparently a bug in the game where if you do this style booth in a restaurant, I don't know if it's this style booth or all booths. It sounded like it's all booths, actually. People are complaining about all booths. But I don't know if they fixed it, but people were complaining on the forums that booths didn't work in restaurants. Now, I don't know if they don't work at all, but they definitely do not work when they're up against a wall like this. The thing didn't even recognize it as being seating at all. So, and of course I didn't figure that out to the end. So that was fun. I had to kind of redo all the seating, reconfigure. These white things, I really want to use them. I really want to use them in a build. I need to find a build to use them in. I tried to put them in here. I tried really hard, but I just didn't end up liking them at the end. They just weren't really working for me. I don't know. I don't know why, but yeah, so I end up taking them out, and I end up changing it. This build, I say all the time when I do these builds that, oh, so much changes, but this one, it really, really does change, because once I figure out that I can't use that style of booth and I have to reconfigure the entire seating thing, that's kind of major. Right here, I'm starting on the kitchen. And since this is a very upscale fine dining type place, I want the kitchen kind of removed, so you'll see me do like an area in front and doors and all of this, so that when the waitstaff goes back there, they're a little bit more separated from the diners, so that the diners are not hearing all of the noise from the kitchen and all of that stuff, because this is supposed to be a very romantic type of place. And here we go. I really like these kitchen pieces, the new kitchen pieces that come. They come with the dining out, and that's how, of course, you run the restaurants and all of that stuff. So I give them a couple of refrigerators or industrial ice boxes. I give them a couple of dishwashers. I like to do two of things in a fine dining, big restaurant. You sort of think that there's probably more than one chef and more than one dishwasher and things like that. So, and I do, as time goes on, I make an entrance that goes from the bar in the front to the kitchen in the back, and I make an exit entrance from the kitchen to the side, where I put trash bins and stuff out there. And I also imagine that would be the same entrance that the workers go in and out when they start work, especially since this is supposed to be such a fine dining place and upscale. I have it as formal attire and all of that, so it's definitely supposed to be upscale. And so you don't want your employees coming in and out the front generally. You want them having some back entrance. So, and in this case, a side entrance. This here is going to be the ladies' room. I start building out the ladies' room here. I do the men's room and the ladies' room in different areas, and I also do them different sizes. I give the ladies' room a little bit more space because, let's face it, you know, ladies' rooms always have lines and all of that, and the guys generally don't have an issue. So I give the ladies 2 stalls and the guys 1 stalls, bathroom stalls. So. And this here, this is a little storage area. I kind of figure if you run a restaurant, you might have a little storage type area. And so that's what this is. It's just a storage room for whatever extra stuff the restaurant has. And I felt when I was making it, I felt like it was too small, and I end up expanding it out a block. Felt like it needed a little bit more space to make it slightly more realistic. I end up really liking this bathroom. I have a tendency to like this color scheme a lot. I probably overuse it because I like it a lot. And I like reds a lot too. I've noticed that I use a lot of reds in my builds. It's funny now that I've started recording and doing this YouTube channel, I've noticed patterns that I didn't notice before, but I have some things that I do more commonly than not. And, you know, you sort of develop different things that you like and different elements that you like. Of course, now I have so much new stuff that I'm working with. I got so much for Christmas that I don't even know what to do with myself. I have so much stuff. I keep saying that. I think I said that on every video for like the last 4 videos. But it's true, and it's great. It's not a bad problem to have. It's an awesome problem to have. Here we go with the men's bathroom. Gets a little bit confusing visually for a second there when I'm pulling from the ladies' room. I'm just doing like the copy move stuff over from the ladies' room into the men's room. Because of course, you know, I do the same sinks and all of that stuff for both rooms. There I go, expanding that little storage area. Now it seemed more realistic to me. That's a place where they keep their stuff for the kitchen. And because we're upscale and we're Italian, my thought was that, you know, Italians do a lot with wines and stuff, so hence the big wall of wines. I've been really wanting to use that piece. I tried to use it in my last Build the Vampire Vault build that was out. I really tried hard to use it, and I couldn't fit it anywhere. So this year I managed to find a place to fit that piece this time. So I was kind of happy about that. Not necessarily used for what it's meant for, because I think it's meant to be a divider, but you know, it doesn't matter to me what the pieces are meant for in the game, especially if I love stuff that's versatile. If I can find pieces that I can use in multiple different ways, I love that. Just putting a little bit of detail, a little bit of extra stuff in the kitchen. I don't put too much back there though. I don't get too crazy details with it, a little bit. And I'm using these long lights both for 2 reasons. For lighting purposes, obviously, but also because they're a good design element and they don't provide a ton of light. They provide a little bit of light. And since this is supposed to be a romantic atmosphere, I figured, you know, those are good. They're large lights, but they don't cast a whole ton of light. And so I figured they would be good for the romantic atmosphere. And moving on out to the front. The front is another area, like everything else on this build. I end up making so many changes on this build. So I build out this front and then I end up changing quite a bit after the fact. And I end up really liking the roof on this place. I make this kind of a modern place, and I finally feel like I'm starting to feel like I'm getting better at roofs. This one in particular, I felt like I did a decent job. I didn't struggle with this one. Like sometimes I feel like I struggle with roofs so much, and this one here I didn't. I changed it around a few times because I was playing with the overhangs on them and how I wanted it done, but it was an easy one, even though it needed a couple of areas to jut out and a couple of areas to stay in, all of that stuff when all is said and done. Right now it's still a little bit more square than it ends up being. Expanding out the deck just a little bit. That little side area is just for show. But I create a waiting area out front. I put a lot of bench seating together out front as a waiting area. And I do a small waiting area inside too, but the larger waiting zone is out front. These flowers go in now and they all get removed later in favor of different flowers. Love that. Oh, and that piece, that I really wanted to use that one too, and so I'm so happy. That was a piece that when I saw it with the birds and it, just that whole sculpture, when I first saw that, I was like, oh yes, I need to find someplace to put this. This is fabulous, and it really is. It's a wonderful sculpture piece, and I end up using it in that area, and I build up this whole thing around it, water feature and a sit down area and a few things over there. I make it look pretty. Here I go starting on it. It ends up, this is another thing I know I keep repeating myself. It's going to change a lot. It really does. Sorry for the repeating. I need to stop that. But I love this build so much. I'm so happy we get to build restaurants now. Functional restaurants too. This is, it's like, I just can't even contain myself. I'm so excited about it. It's wonderful. Some of the packs that I got for Christmas, the vampire pack, really, really loving that. This one here, this is the first time that I've really been able to delve into this new dining out pack in building this restaurant. And yeah, this is just great. Love it, love it, love it. In this area, I'm setting this up like this right now, and honestly, I don't love it the way it is right now, but I think that I'm stuck with it because of the way the inside is, and there's not much that I can do, like that bench area that's on the right. I don't really love it, but well, I have this seating stuff inside, and to move one of them would be just too much. It would cause a domino effect of having to move all of those romantic booth things that I have going right now, and so I think that I'm stuck with this bench configuration out front at the moment, but when I discover that I have to change all of the seating inside, I end up getting to change this area around this sculpture and water feature as well, so that makes me pretty happy. And here we do the flower change out. Yeah, I don't even know why, I just felt like it looked better and more consistent. And with the water, I did the blue and a little bit of white. And then I went a little bit crazy on forest flowers. I toned it down a little bit afterwards. Yeah, there I go, toning it down a little bit. I was like, oh, that might be a little too much. But I sort of wanted the rest of the landscaping around the restaurant to be not landscaping, like just growth. Just whatever it is. Like the restaurant takes care of this front area with the sculpture and the benches, and they take care of the area right in front where the waiting area is and everything. But the rest of the area around the restaurant, my idea is that just grows. Like whatever grows, grows. That's not anything that the restaurant actually maintains landscaping wise. And I like this idea that I had for a sign to do that. I like the sign being up top. And I end up doing like 3 different signs on this restaurant. I don't know if that's stupid or not. Oh, 4, because I do both sides. I forgot I do both sides. Oh, and I think that, yes, I just figured out that I couldn't use the booths. And so now here I go reconfiguring the entire joint as far as seating is concerned. And it took a little bit of time, but honestly, it wasn't that bad because once I set up one of these, there I go. I have the first one set up, and somewhere along the lines, or just about, I'm getting there. And somewhere along this time frame, I realize, hey, you know what? I don't have to redo each one of these. I can just copy and paste these. Like, this is a room. I can copy and paste, copy and paste. I love that feature. That is such a wonderful feature. That feature, because of this whole redo thing, that saved me so much work this time. But, you know, I'm really surprised they haven't fixed that bench glitch or bug that they have, that it doesn't even recognize it as seating when you set up the benches like that in a restaurant. Because when I went out to the forums that I saw where people were talking about it, it was like 2016 and we're in 2018. I'm surprised that they've let a bug stay for that particular bug too, especially with the Dine Out pack and, you know, our ability to be able to run restaurants now. That's what I'm surprised that they haven't addressed. But you know what? They're probably working on Sims 5 as we speak. I haven't heard anything announcement-wise. If any of you hear anything announcement-wise, please don't hesitate to put it in the comments. Yeah, so now we see I have a little bit more room to breathe around that sculpture and water feature up front, which I really like. And I ended up, in the end, this probably worked out better. You know, I had this whole concept of romantic booths, but in the end, I ended up with a lot of romantic two-seater dining spots, and I make a couple in the back. I took two of the booths and I combined, you know, when I destroyed the booths, I combined, and so I made one area that it seats 8, and I have a couple that are 4-seaters. So most of them are like romantic seating in the end, but there are a couple that you can have a few more people dine as well. And that was a nice add too, those being able to add the windows on that side. Before, when I had the booths there, it didn't make sense. Like, it wouldn't have worked to have any windows on that side at all. But I liked the fact that I was able to add the windows, and you'll see afterwards, or maybe you saw in the beginning when I showed the cinematic view of the restaurant, I ended up raising the roof quite a bit on the second story so that I can do another tier of those windows up on the second story, and I love the look. Oh, and that there, you know, I have this video going with that table there, and I think that I have to change it out because I saw someone eating there. Someone's using it as a dining spot, and I meant for it to be an accent table. So I have to change that before I put it up. Or, yeah, well, I have it saved. It'll be up on the gallery by the time you guys watch this video. It'll be up on the gallery. But as of right at this moment, it's not yet, so I'll have to make that change before I actually post it. But speaking of, I probably should say, if you are interested, this is going to be up on the gallery. It's going to be listed as Il Miglior Ristorante. Il Miglior Ristorante. Yes. Took me a second because it's Italian. But yeah, so I'm going to have it under its actual restaurant name out on the gallery. Or, of course, you can look under EA account ID Crystal Gamer 1. Actually, so either way, here's a little trash area going in. I thought they'd have a few, being a restaurant. You know, it just dawned on me. I don't know. I haven't looked to see if the game has dumpsters. I wonder if we have full-blown dumpsters. Although fine dining restaurant wouldn't have dumpsters on the side. This is about the extent of what they would have, because you don't want to draw attention to icky stuff on the side. Put out a little bit more trees and stuff like that, and yeah, make it look a little cute. Even though it's a little trash area, make it look a little cute. And I love the way it looks at night. I really, really like the way it looks at night out front, and this area here. And now I'm putting this sculpture. I want it up. I don't want it in the water, because it is a lit up sculpture, and you can see just when I pull it out of the water there how much it lit up that area. And so I wanted it out of the water, but you can see me playing here for a while trying to figure out how to get this to work the best way. And the way I ended up doing it was I ended up moving the benches at the end. This is where I started doing that now, because I just needed the space. I couldn't make it look good without having some more space there. but it all works out in the end. And then I add some little bubbly water features in there as well to draw attention to it, to make it look really nice, because I love water features. And I really do. That's one of the best parts of the game, the water features. God, they're fabulous. If anything, I try to prevent myself, like I try to stop myself from doing too much with water features, because otherwise I feel like I'll just go crazy with them. Like I'll just, now that I say that, maybe I should do a build that's just a ton of water features or something, because I love them so much. So I get ready to lift that roof very soon, I believe, and put that second story of windows on there. Right now, I think I'm just playing. Yeah, I moved the bench area and all of that stuff, so I ended up with a little overhang, and I had to do a little roof correction there for that. But I finally figured out how to do that stuff, and it's actually not hard now that I have finally figured out how to do it. I don't know why it took me so long to figure that stuff out, but once you get it, it's easy. Move that around a little bit. Just seemed to make a little bit more sense to me, and I wanted that to be angled and not cornered. And I start doing some little last finishing touches here, which maybe I should. Sometimes I wonder how much of the video to include and how much to cut, because I cut pieces out, but I don't want to make it so disjointed so that when y'all are watching it, you're like, what the heck is going on? At the same time, I don't want it to be too long so that everyone gets bored watching it. So it's kind of a balancing act. How much do you cut out? How much do you leave in? And doing the artwork and stuff now. I put speakers all over the place. Those come from the Spa game pack. That's a great game pack too. That one has some good things. And I just saw I wanted some incorrect paneling on the wall, and I hope that I find that. I had that happen several times, like right there, the paneling in the interior is incorrect. And it's similar on the interior as the exterior. It's just the interior one I chose to go with the horizontal, and the exterior is the vertical. But I don't know what was happening that I was doing something wrong, obviously, but something was happening that I was ending up with interior paneling on the exterior and exterior paneling on the interior. So, and I hope that I caught it all before I completed this. And here we go with the little bubbling water features. Excellent addition to the game. And I'm just adding in the big dining room now. And like I say, I add a couple of different configurations in. Yeah. So I figured most of the people coming to this restaurant are going to be couples. It's got the romantic aura. It has the chef's kitchen trait. And what's the other one? I can't remember the other one that I put with it, but the idea is that the majority of people that come here are going to be couples. And every once in a while you might get a big party or something, but the majority of people that are going to be coming are going to be couples. Here we go. I think we're getting ready to do this roof feature that I like so much. I really love that I got this idea. I tried to see what happened there is I tried to see if I could fit some windows, and they wouldn't fit. So I said, oh, well, forget about this. I'll just raise the roof. Because we can raise the roof in this game. And I end up putting some lights inside behind those windows as well, so that at night the lights glow outside. And that took a little finagling with the roof too, and I wouldn't have been able to do that a little while ago. I definitely know how to work with the roofs better now than I did. And so I was able to figure out how to do that. And pretty easily too. Just adding in a little bit of back landscaping. And I'm trying to, I'm basically, like I said before, I'm trying to make the landscaping look a little bit random. I really don't want it to look landscaped. I just want it to look like growth. And the sign on the side. I hope I didn't put too many signs. What do you guys think? Do you think I did too many signs? I love the big sign on the side though. There I go, putting the lights in. And it does take me a second to figure out how to work with it with the roof, because if you just put the roof right up against it, it blocks out the lights. It's got a wall there, it blocks out the lights. So it took me a second to figure out. You have to actually change the roof and use an overhang, which means that ended up being 3 different roof pieces, because I needed the 2 on either side and then a separate roof piece in the middle that sits in one square, but whose eave comes out more. And here we are at the final cinematic. So thanks so much for spending the time with me. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you like it and want to download it from the gallery. And I hope to see you again next time. Please support my channel by liking and subscribing. That would be awesome, and I would very much appreciate it. Y'all have a great one. Bye-bye.